And good afternoon and welcome. Hey, it's the first White Chocolate podcast, the very first one. We have no clue what we're doing, but we're going to try starting it out. Coming to you live from the the Basement Studios, the BLG Basement Studios in Dalesville, Maryland. And this is our maiden voyage, so we're going to see how it goes. Be prepared for a lot of unprofessionalism. Absolutely. I think fair to say many mistakes. Fair to say probably not very interesting content.
Probably not.
At this point, we probably shouldn't even bother finishing the podcast. It's been good. We'll see. But anyway, so our first episode, hopefully of many. We mostly are doing this just for ourselves to enjoy laughing, and we hope that maybe you can laugh along with us and have a little bit of fun. So the first podcast, we wanted to start out just by kind of introducing ourselves. We're hoping to do a podcast once a week and do maybe 30 to 40 minutes, however long it ends up being, and we'll see how it goes. 7 minutes. Well, we'll run out of stuff to talk about way before 7 minutes, as it took me how long to figure out how to set the thing up for the first one. So yeah, well, I mean, we'll be here. We've got the time. Yeah. It's not like any of us have anything else going on. So introduction as to how we started or why we started. Will and I are both teachers, and although there's a significant age difference between the two of us, we found that we had a really good mediocre friendship.
At best, solid at best.
Yeah, I mean, or acquaintances at least. Yeah, maybe not friends, might be too strong, but the point is, we ended up having fun teaching together. You started subbing in the building, and then you became a full year teacher, and we've just developed a good friendship. So it's been a lot of fun. I myself enjoy being around Will because he always makes me laugh, and we just figured, besides the fact that we have a good time together, we figure everybody's always telling us, man, you guys should do a podcast. And there's a bazillion podcasts out there. Yeah. And we're guessing that this will be limited to probably just people who know us that want to think we're funny, which is, and when both of you are done listening, then no, but seriously. So that's how we met. We met teaching together, and frankly, we kind of just need each other because where we teach is can be
challenging,
difficult, fun, but challenging. The kids are good.
It's an adventure.
But it's just nice to have somebody to make you laugh. And anybody out there that's a teacher who's worked with kids definitely knows that. Mm-hmm. So how we met, teaching, our backgrounds. Why don't you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Sure. I am from, can't say that.
Dalesville?
Dalesville.
Yeah.
I was born in Dalesville.
No, you weren't born in Dalesville. No, I think it's fair to say what state maybe.
Yeah. Lived in Maryland.
Yeah.
Pretty much my entire life.
Since you were a kid?
A wee sprout.
I mean, you were a little, you were barely moving around, and you were in Maryland.
That's for sure. Anyway, lived in Dalesville, Maryland, pretty much my whole life, since about 5th grade, and grew up here, went to school here, and then ended up going to
Dalesville High?
Dalesville High, yeah. But
do you go to Dalesville Middle too, or
no?
Home of the what was their mascot? Dalesville Middle. What were they? Weren't they the
Bulldogs?
The Bulldogs, the Dalesville Bulldogs.
Okay. Why do you do this to me?
I was just asking. Okay. I don't know if I know that about you. What your mascot was?
It was the Bulldogs in middle school.
And what about Dalesville Elementary?
The Huskies, baby.
The Huskies. All right. That's strong.
Different dogs.
You know what I was? By the way, we're probably going to go off. It's fair to say we'll go off topic from time to time. I was a wildcat in elementary school.
That's fierce.
I don't know if it'll beat a husky though. A wildcat might beat a husky.
I feel like, what kind of wildcat?
I don't know. We were just the wildcats.
So. Vague, but okay.
Yeah, vague. Well, I didn't vote on it. It was voted on way before I got there.
Anyway, ended up at Salisbury for college, and then
very cool.
Worked into teaching and
out on the Eastern Shore, huh?
On the Eastern Shore, down by Ocean City, and had a lot of fun there. Spent most of my time with my wife, and
yeah, you knew her in college, right?
College, high school, middle school, and
I mean, you've known her forever.
5th grade, yeah.
Gotcha. I have not known your wife since elementary school.
No, but close.
Almost. I had known her for about 9 years.
9.
Yeah.
10.
I don't know. Whenever I met you.
Yeah, sometime.
Soon after we brought the refrigerator from your garage. That was the first time I met your wife.
A long time ago.
We needed a somebody at our school threw out the refrigerator that we used to keep our lunches in, and so we decided we would. Will had I don't know if we ever even introduced ourselves, but I'm Dirk. That's Will. Will had a refrigerator that he wasn't using, and so we decided we'd take that in and use it at school. And that was the first time I met your wife, was coming to pick up the refrigerator.
Probably 7-8 years ago.
It was a long time ago.
There. Anyway, now I'm just a teacher, father, husband, and coach, and pretty much.
That's a lot of things. I'm a teacher, father, husband. I don't have the coach factor.
That's still a lot of things.
But it's 3 things, really.
One less than me.
Yeah, well.
It's not a competition.
No, and thank God, because I'd lose, so. If you and I were in a bracket, since it is March and March Madness is among us, if we were in a bracket, you would be making the next bracket. I would be in the losers tournament.
Well, I don't like that's a strong word, loser.
Well, I would be in the non-winner tournament.
That's better.
Okay. So that's cool. So yeah, and then you ended up teaching subbing around, I assume, and then ended up teaching at our school.
A lot at our school is how I kind of worked in, and then met a lot of people there.
Did we like each other at first? Did we know each? When did we go from like, hey, nice to see you, to?
We didn't do that until really like my 2nd or 3rd year of teaching, like how we are now. I mean, we were always very like
cordial.
Yeah, for sure.
Respectful.
Always.
Acknowledged each other.
No.
Okay.
Yes. No.
I'm going to take a sip of this beverage, but I'm going to do it subtly so nobody notices.
Okay, great. I think we were always, like you said, cordial. I think by our 2nd year there was a story that was told. In our office.
We could cover that today, actually.
And then,
pardon me.
I think that kind of like started that. What Dirk always says is the cosmic connection between us.
Well, and that's actually one of the next things that I have listed here, which is.
Well, are you going to talk about your background?
Well, I can.
It's not as interesting.
No, on the bracket, it would be. So I was born in Maryland too, and then ended up going to school in Maryland, and then ended up going to college. A year at a community college, then a year at Towson State, and then decided I didn't want to go into criminal law, which was my major at the time. And after 2 years, did what the most brilliant decision, which is to change your major and lose a bunch of credits, go to Shepherd. But I ended up at Shepherd University, who was college then, because a buddy of mine went there, and it was a really good music program. So I got my bachelor's degree there. While I was working there, I was Paul Blart, working mall security, and that's where I met my wife. She worked in the mall, and so we started to date and eventually got married and liked it in West Virginia, and it's just much cheaper there. So we bought property and had a house built in West Virginia, and we've been there.
Beautiful property, by the way.
Thank you. Since the 90s. I had already been hired in Montgomery County when I lived in Frederick with my parents. Sure. And so, Montgomery County pays pretty well for our area. So, hey, I figured I'll teach there and live in West Virginia and go that far. Yeah, it's not great.
But worth it.
It's worth it because in the end I can pay my bills and still my wife was able to stay home with our kids for a while, and that was important to us. So if I worked near where I lived, or if I lived near where I worked, there's no way we could afford to do that. So did that, ended up at Maryland for a master's degree, and just, I've been teaching at the school for 22, 3, 4 years now. And not that it's not necessarily because I'm great, just because it's comfortable there. I love the kids there. We have needy kids, but I enjoy that. Yep. And I kind of grew up how they did. I didn't have a lot of money growing up. I know we share that in common, and so it's fun. But the funny story that linked us, and I won't use names, obviously, but one of the funny cosmic connections is I had a friend from high school who called me up after years and years, and we were close friends in high school. She dated my best friend, the whole deal. And she calls me up one day and she says, hey, you'll never believe this, but unfortunately, I'm not trying to make fun of it, but she found her husband had been cheating on her. Sure. And unfortunately, he was cheating on her with another man, and she had found that out. And so they were trying to keep it a secret, but she just needed somebody to talk to. In other words, they were going to separate,
Yeah.
but it was going to be amicable,
Yeah.
and she didn't want to ruin his life and embarrass him. So she just needed an old friend that she could trust to talk to. So she shares the story with me. Well, she's got very few friends. Yeah, so she didn't. It was like, the best of what's around.
Right.
So she calls me and she shares this with me, and then now keep in mind where I went to high school was 30 miles from here.
Mhm.
So, and you are, I mean, we talk about this all the time. You are young enough, almost, you were born 6 months after I graduated high school.
Right.
So theoretically, how would you possibly, right, there'd be no connection.
Sure.
So I came in the next day and was lamenting her story to you.
Mhm.
And saying, my goodness, can you imagine how tough that is to find this out, and what a shame. And without using real names, you said, oh, you mean so-and-so? And I went, because I had used her husband's name. And you said so-and-so? And I was like, no, you're kidding. And you were like, Uncle Bob, we'll use Bob.
Sure.
Uncle Bob. And I'm like, you're joking, right? And you're like, no, I don't think so. And so you got on the phone to your mom right then.
Right.
And you called and you said, hey, Mom, what's Uncle Bob's wife's name? And she was like, Sarah. Well, making up names here. Sarah. And I was like, oh, no, that's who I'm talking to. And turns out the connection was that tell me that connection, that there was a neighbor or a friend or something.
My mom's best friend growing up was her brother. I believe that is what it is.
And you spent time and called this gentleman uncle.
Sure.
He was Uncle Bob to you when you were growing up.
Sure.
And Uncle Bob and Sarah, his wife, attended birthday parties for you. Like they were family.
Yes, absolutely.
So the cosmic connection was, here we are 30 years apart, 30 miles apart, and I come in and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And you were like, you knew the people. And not only did you know them, they were uncle and aunt to you. I mean, ceremonially, they weren't really related to you. And I was just like, oh my goodness, now I shared the story and now you know. And so that was one of those things where it was just like, what are the odds in the world that us coming from two totally different directions,
totally different background,
that my best friend was somebody who you called aunt because she was married to. So it was just this weird scenario. And we've always had like these weird, you had another one the other day, you said, I don't know if you remember.
Yeah. The worst one we've ever had, to me, in my opinion, of these cosmic.
And by worst is best.
Right.
Best and worst.
There's no, there's no shot moments, right? Like there's no way that happened. When we were in your room one day in class. Okay. And I don't know how we got on the subject of pictures and how many photos we had on our phones.
I think, we like to compete and just, we're both nerdy.
Probably, but I also think it was because I was talking to you about how many pictures my wife had on her phone. And you were saying, no way, there's that many pictures on a phone.
That's right.
Right?
Yes, we were comparing.
Like, yeah, how many pictures do you have on your phone?
Right.
And you said, I think it was like 747. Or it was
somewhere between 400 and 700, but it was not the most ever. And I don't know what people listening, how many pictures. You should go right now. You guys should go check on your phone and see how many pictures you have. It's a fun activity.
I don't think that's a lot of pictures.
Agreed.
Compared to a lot of others.
And you back things up, but you keep old ones like when your kids were little because you still want to be able to see them. Right, exactly.
We'll pick 740 for now. I don't know how many there actually were.
741.
Sure. We'll and you're like, oh, I have 741. How about you? Scroll. We're done.
Yeah. And you sent me. You didn't tell me.
No, I wanted you to
screenshot
it, and I screenshotted the picture of it and sent it to you.
And it was the same exact number of pictures on our phones. Now they're not going to believe us. They're going to think, oh yeah, right, you're just making this. But seriously, this thing happens over and over.
Yeah, I don't know if it's even is that far fetched or like is that weird to other people, but it's happened so many times to us that was just another thing to add on to that list of like, why is this happening?
And here's the thing: if it was a choice between like 1 and 10, the odds are, much better that you might pick the same number. Pick a number between 1 and 10.
Okay.
All right. Wait. Oh no, I'm not going to get out the whiteboards right now. You're going to have to trust me.
Why?
I know. Why do they have to be? We'll get to that. All right. I have my number. I'm going to hold up the fingers. Okay.
I'm going to write my number down.
Okay. All right. I'm going to hold up mine. We'll just see. It's probably not going to work now because we're on camera. Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
Okay. Whew. I'm glad.
4.
I had a 3.
Okay.
So that was close.
That was close. Well, that's your favorite number.
That is my favorite number.
I should have known that. I'm sorry. Does that ruin the luck?
I like to keep that to myself.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to tell. Our senses of humor is also something that's kind of tied us together.
Agreed.
You are, I guess, by saying this to you, and I feel like I'm doing a lot of the talking, you are very intelligent. And I feel like our senses of humor, easy for me to say.
Yeah, you're right, start.
Let me back up. Is we enjoy both the same type of humor. We enjoy that smart humor.
Intellectual humor.
Puns,
Yes.
for sure.
Yep.
Outthinking and spur of the moment.
Sure.
And by the way, on the podcast, we're planning to do. So what people need to know probably about me is that I'm the super, not neurotic about it per se, but I'm the super, like, I have to have everything laid out. Yeah. You're a much more fly by the seat of your pants kind of a guy. And you're good at that. You can wing things. You do it with the kids all the time at school. Like, okay, I don't mean all the time because you plan, but what I'm saying is, like, when there's 20 minutes of extra time you didn't realize you were going to have, you're very good at knowing how to just wing it. I'm more like, I mean, everybody can see I got my little laptop here. Like, I'm the one that has to have things laid out in front of me because that brings me comfort to know. But having said that, we both love the intellectual humor.
Yeah, agree.
So that's one thing, whether it's puns, whether it's
innuendos, anything like that.
Absolutely. And people watching.
Love that.
And we're going to do some segments on people we can't stand, people we can live without, behaviors. Why would people do this? Right. Why do people, for example, just an example off the cuff, we've talked about the speed at which people walk across the road when you're like in a parking lot, when you're waving them to go.
Sure.
Why do some people seem to go slower? Some people go faster.
Knees to chest. It needs to be knees to chest. If I'm waiting for you, if I have allowed you
some time in your precious schedule,
yes, then it should be you're kicking.
You should be hoofing it.
You should.
With your arm moving?
No, I say that, but
I mean, are they breaking us? Here's
a light jog.
How about this?
One of those things where you act like you're going to start jogging just to show that.
Yeah, but you're really just walking. So
I take that.
So it is an observable change of pace,
right?
In the in the speed direction,
right.
Not the other way.
No.
But there are some people that give you the wave. Now,
right along.
if they're older,
elderly's fine.
Take all day.
Please,
I'll pack a lunch.
I will.
I'll put it in park. I'll turn on a tune. Yeah. Put my shades on, and I will take a nap and wait for you. But if you are a healthy, able-bodied human,
you better get stepping.
You might have the right of way.
You might.
But
you don't have a bumper on you.
But I sure hope my foot doesn't slip up. No, I wouldn't do that. It might be a little far. Can we back the tape up? Right. Erase that. So, but anyway, I agree. So we love talking food. Another very common. That's your favorite topic.
I love food.
Food is your favorite.
My wife can just cook up a storm, and God bless her. She's just I love.
Well, you're a decent cook yourself. Maybe we'll even do a segment on that. You put together some nice looking meals. You grill. You do some smash burgers.
Yeah,
you do some good stuff. So,
but I like to enjoy the food rather than cook the food.
And we also are weird with, and by weird I mean nerdy or technical, with why we like foods. Like, that's better because of some little thing that most people don't even notice. Okay. Now, I'm not trying to make fun of myself, but I'm a big guy, right? So, not a surprise maybe that I love food. You are a very physically fit guy. And you love food. You might be the only human I've met who thinks about dinner before he's eating breakfast.
Absolutely.
And that's something I don't
get on my wife's nerves with. I call in the morning on the way to work. If I call her, I'll ask what we're having for dinner.
Because you just want to look forward to it.
I just want to have something to look forward to. Other than,
but you'll eat breakfast. You can finish lunch and have some BMD.
Oh, absolutely.
Which we've done before. Maybe we'll explain that on a future podcast.
Down on your table in your class.
After some Panda. And you'll still, it's the minute you're able to be up and mobile, you're going, wonder what we're going to have for dinner.
Absolutely.
We should come up with code names for our wives too, maybe, in case they don't want us to use. Sure. But anyway, so yeah, we have that.
I can talk about food all day.
I know. Well, we'll have some segments on food.
We better.
We're going to have some, one of the other teachers actually gave me a good segment. He called it Munch Madness.
That's fine.
And I said, did you just make that up? And he said, yeah. I was like, He's
smart.
He said it's probably been taken, but I thought that was funny.
Yeah, he's also
That was our 8th grade team leader. He was like,
oh, I
yeah,
thought you were talking about somebody else.
no, not the math teacher.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I thought you were talking
I was talking about what we were doing, and I said, yeah, we're going to do
we
some
could just
different
say
things.
their first names because they don't. Nobody knows.
That's true. Yeah.
But,
So we're figuring that out. We're trying to figure out what to share, what not to share, assuming anybody from anywhere outside of our social circle would watch this
That's
anyway.
true.
So we'll see. I mean, we'll play it by ear. We're new at this. Well, that's our first segment. I think it's kind of a great introduction. We were planning to go about 10 minutes. We went 19. So that's a good sign. We're not, we don't have any place to go. We hope you guys don't. If you're watching, hopefully you're enjoying it or listening to it, however you do. So the second segment, let's jump right in. As you heard at the beginning, we call ourselves the White Chocolate Podcast. Why do we do that?
We enjoy the occasional video game, and we started playing a game that came out a few years ago during the pandemic, really, called Fortnite together. And my brother got me into it, and then I kind of got Dirk into it. And there was an area on what is known as the map where you land, and we
were good there.
We were kicking butt there.
We were,
and
that was one of our favorite places.
It was. So we landed there often, and we ended up winning that area for the one round, and said, you know what, nobody messes with us at the White Chocolate
Orchards. Yeah, it was the orchards. It was an apple orchard with barns, and we got good enough at that area that we could kind of dominate there regularly. Yeah. So it became the White Chocolate. You coined the name, and that was 3 years ago. And of course, the map's changed. The area is gone, but it's stuck. It's stuck. Everywhere is now the White Chocolate something. So we just figured White Chocolate, but also because it's about race. We don't shy away from that. As a matter of fact, one of the things we joke about the most is race. Sure. We have two Hispanic coworkers specifically that are in the department, and at least 3 of us are pretty much always making jokes at each other. Mm-hmm. And I think the best part about what we do is that we don't make fun of race. We kind of make fun of how absurd racism is. Yeah. So one of the things like we talk about a lot, and honestly, I grew up in a pretty much all white area. Yeah, I mean, Dalesville, not too far off, right. But
different now.
Yes, yes, and very different where we teach. Right. So that's good. For sure. As a matter of fact, I think in our school, the white population is under 10%. Sure. So like it may be a little higher now, but I didn't grow up with any kind of experience around people that didn't look like me. Mm-hmm. So coming to teach here in Montgomery County was like, okay, this is different. Yeah, it was just different. I'm learning different styles, different cultures, different places where we have like kids from over 30 or 40 countries in our building. Right. So it's like learning all about it. So, and even meeting people and working alongside people that have different backgrounds than me was educational. Mm-hmm. Like it was. And so one of the things that you and I would joke about all the time is the absurdity of how you can look at other people and go, I don't like you because of the color of your skin, right. Or I judge you because of the color of your skin. And we probably all, and when I say all, I mean everybody in the world, probably has certain predispositions towards other people, sure. You know? But most of us know that that's irrational, and we try to eradicate that. Even if we have an opinion, we judge by sight. And the first thing you notice about somebody, how tall, how short, how thin, how fat, what color their skin is, what color their hair is. Yeah. And so one of the things you and I always talk about is just, how the idea of racism is so funny. Mm-hmm. So when we make jokes, it's mocking racism. It's not mocking the race. Right. And luckily, even our students get that. And,
which is great.
Yeah. So, and I think a lot of younger people do get that. I don't know how you feel about it, but
I think most of I guess I'll just talk about our students, mm-hmm. because they really are super intelligent. Mm-hmm. And I think we can joke with them, to a certain extent about certain things. And I've heard you in your classroom just, be funny and be goofy, and then them laugh with you. And I do the same thing. But I just feel like it's a taught behavior to act that way, to be that way, to be outwardly racist towards mm-hmm. somebody. And thankfully where we are, we don't necessarily see that or have that as much. And we can joke with our kids and laugh with them. And, that is one thing that I really enjoy about our population and where we are teaching and our students, is that we can not just about race. We don't just joke about race, obviously,
Mhm.
but we can just they are smart enough to get witty humor.
Yeah,
And I appreciate
absolutely.
that.
And that's different from, again, even where I live. I live in West Virginia, and there's a lot of jokes for people that are regional in or the eastern part of the United States. There's a lot of jokes about West Virginia being backwoods and all
Right.
this. Like probably every state has certain, jokes about it. But there's still a lot more overt racism where I live. So, you go into places and you'll hear people use words that you're like, whoa, what are you doing? Like, that's not okay.
Like when I come to visit you, sometimes we've gone to get if we go to get food.
Hmm.
I will be. I would never say it to you. I mean,
Right,
while
right.
we're there, but sometimes I'm like,
Do I fit in
right,
or,
well,
yeah,
this is a little like I'm look around and
yeah,
but and no one's ever said anything while I've been up there
right.
with you. I'm just that's
Yeah.
just
Well, and
I'm different there.
well, we talk about like, I mean, and I joked with you once about, or told you a story once about when my wife and I went to New York City
Mhm. Yep.
and we left Times Square late
Yep.
after a show
Hmm.
and we got on the train and we were staying with a friend in Brooklyn Heights
Hmm.
and we accidentally missed the stop that we were looking for because we were on a different train than we thought we were.
Right.
And we ended up on Flatbush Avenue in downtown Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
And so I was like,
Hmm.
I know that name and I know that we're probably in an area where we don't belong. And it wasn't, I won't lie, some of it was probably, we're going to be the only white people here.
Right.
I mean, I'll be honest.
Right.
But also, more of it was we stand out as tourists more than we
Hmm.
stand out as white people.
Right.
And so it was sort of that double worry of like, not only do we not know where we are at 2 a.m,
Right.
but we're also in a neighborhood we don't belong in. We don't know what's
People know.
safe. And people know
People
because
know.
New Yorkers know the
Sure.
minute, if they know who's a tourist and
Yeah.
who's a local by the way you
Mhm.
act. So yeah, and that's the cool part because I'm not going to say all people where I live are racist because they're certainly not, but you get a lot more of the West Virginia's back in time a little,
Mhm.
and you get when the farther out you get, you'll run into more people that are comfortable saying things like that,
Sure.
and you just kind of look and go, what
Right.
it's for me, it's an IQ test. It
Yeah.
really
Absolutely.
is. It's like, okay, basically all you just said was that you're not very intelligent.
Mhm.
That's just my opinion anyway, because I tell my students this all the time. I don't care what color. Like, it would be like hating someone because of their hair color or their eye color. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's just so, and so we'll talk a lot, like, or maybe not a lot, but some of the things that we'll talk about on the podcast. Um, and that's why we named it White Chocolate. I mean, it's a play on you and I.
Sure.
Um, and our goal is to kind of humanize and humorize race. So, like, there are funny differences. There are funny typical behaviors that you sometimes see, or ways that you joke with me or tease me about things, or the way we joke with our Hispanic counterpart, and we all love each other very much. But it's the idea of making fun of the fact that anybody would say that and mean it more than it is about making fun. So hopefully people on the podcast will get, like, it might seem like we're being irreverent or disrespectful, but everybody will get the fact that we're more making fun of the idea of racism than we are making fun of the person. So I guess that's about it on race. Anything you?
No, I mean, I think you pretty much covered it, and I think on here we will have not just joking about it, but we can have open and honest conversations about
I
current
don't think
events.
that's
Okay,
possible.
well, I'll just be quiet then. No,
No,
I
I
think
agree with you.
we have had in the past and normally do have very honest and open and deep conversations
Yeah.
at times, and obviously we don't want to be, Debbie Downer.
No, I don't want to be Debbie Downer.
Debbie Downer.
No, I don't want to be.
Debbie Downer on here, but we that is something that we can do on here as well is talk about current events or things that are going on or things that we just want to get off our chest.
And we have tons of trainings at school about racism and sensitivity and things like that. But we've always said the same thing. We feel like we get more out of sitting down and talking
Absolutely.
as individuals or in a small group of our coworkers than we do by some one size fits all training, which to be honest is built in a way to be so delicate because they're so worried about offending somebody or being uncomfortable that they never get down to the details of real talk.
The nitty gritty.
The what?
The nitty.
Oh, gotcha.
Gritty.
The nitty gritty. Yeah, we definitely want to get down to the nitty gritty. So enough serious talk. They got us
Sure.
in. We're at the 28-minute mark, and that's about where we thought we'd be. But you want this was a time sensitive last minute substitution, and not to use a sports term, but we'll segue to sports.
Mm.
One of the things that you tease me about all the time, or joke with me about, is that I'm not really a sports guy. I'll watch some hockey,
Yeah.
but other than that, I don't follow sports.
No.
And one year you invited me to fill out an NCAA bracket, and you, I hate to say fell in love with, but really enjoyed the way I made my selections.
Thought it was comical.
So since it's March and we're in the March
It
Madness,
started today.
we figured,
Or yesterday.
I mean, I made some picks, but I figured we could go through at least, the brackets here. And
I have the bracket in front of me.
so would you go ahead, and I will explain to the audience as we go how I'm making my picks,
Sure.
and then we'll see how I do over time, maybe in a future podcast.
Do you want to get through the entire bracket?
It's up to you. We can. Depends on how long it takes.
Sure. The first matchup is Alabama versus TAMU.
TAMU, yeah. Now, here's the thing. Should I get to know their rankings, their seeds? Should that factor in?
You can if you'd like.
Okay, yeah, please go ahead and tell me their ranks.
Alabama's the number 1 seed overall.
I was thinking about picking Alabama because they have red and I'm wearing a red shirt.
Let's just go.
Are they the Crimson Tide?
They're Crimson.
Crimson? Is that with a Z?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hard Z.
I'll take the Crimson Tide.
Okay.
Because look, Crimson, red, love red.
Okay.
Tide, because it gets your clothes clean.
It does.
So I'm taking the Crimson Tide.
Delicate.
Alabama. And it starts with A.
This game actually already happened today.
Okay. I only know a couple results.
Okay.
So I will be honest when I know the
Maryland,
result.
West Virginia. You're a West Virginia guy.
I live in West Virginia, but I'm not a mountaineer. Okay. I am a Terrapin, though. So I would probably root for Maryland, and I know that they eked it out.
They did, but we'll go ahead and put that in if you want to vote for them anyway.
Okay.
We have San Diego State versus Charleston. That's a game going on right now.
Charleston?
Charleston, yes.
Is that South Carolina or West Virginia?
That's South Carolina.
South Carolina. Yeah. And the other team was?
San Diego State. They are the 5 seed, and Charleston is the 12 seed.
I'm gonna go with Charleston because they don't have a state after their name. I don't like anybody with state generally, unless there's another redeeming factor. San Diego, although San Diego's weather I hear is phenomenal.
I've never been, but I heard it's delightful.
But why would you want to be? Are they playing the game inside or outside?
They're inside.
They're inside. Okay, then I'm going to go with Charleston because San Diego, they might have an advantage out in the sun.
Okay, that's an upset.
But not inside.
We have another game that has already finished, but I don't think you know this game has already finished.
Okay.
Number 4, Virginia versus Furman.
Actually, I did hear while the people were talking. I picked Virginia to win, but I know that Furman upset them.
Okay, we're going to put UVA then.
And I was upset.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well, it's because I picked Virginia, so you see what happens there. It means
Creighton versus North Carolina State. I know you don't like this.
No, but North Carolina State is where Michael Jordan played. Except for it didn't have the state.
Right.
It was North Carolina. So, and Michael Jordan, as we know,
we do know,
was a reasonably good basketball player. He got underwear named after him. You got to be good if you have underwear named after you. Didn't he do commercials for BVD? Not named after him, but he did commercials for. I'm going North Carolina State because of Michael Jordan. He was cut by his high school basketball team.
I've heard that once or twice.
Yeah.
Baylor versus UCSB.
No initials. Baylor. Okay. Baylor all the way. I don't like UCSB. What does that mean?
I'm not positive.
I'm not positive either.
We got Missouri versus Utah State.
Missouri versus Utah State. Missouri versus Utah State. I will take Missouri. Missoula. And
then we have Arizona versus Princeton.
Other rankings, please.
2 and 15. 2-15 matchup.
Arizona's 2.
Arizona's 2.
I'm not gonna pull against Arizona if they're a 2 seed. Besides, you know what? They have Arizona, one of the better climates. They have it's a dry heat, but they also have the mountains.
Sure.
So they get the snow and they get the desert. I love the mountains. It's a one size fits all state. So they're doing a good job. All right, go ahead. And we're back. Yeah, no, it's okay. We're recording in homes, so of course we're gonna have some interruptions. We'll edit things as need be.
Next one is Purdue versus Texas Southern.
Texas Southern.
Actually, I think it's FDU that actually won that game.
Oh, the FDU?
Yes.
No initials.
Okay.
So Texas Southern?
No, Purdue.
Oh, Purdue.
Purdue's the 1 seed.
Well, yeah, and okay, I forgot. Purdue,
Chicken.
the
best.
Food. Got to go with Purdue.
An 8-9 matchup here in Memphis and Florida Atlantic.
How do you know the score already? It's not 8-9. Oh, I thought you meant that was the score. 8-9, and what are the teams?
They're difficult.
I'm sorry.
Memphis versus Florida Atlantic.
I'm trying to entertain myself. Okay.
Memphis versus Florida Atlantic.
Memphis, music.
Okay. Oh.
Got to go for the Music City.
You're a music guy?
No.
Oh.
I play one on TV.
Gotcha. Then we got number 5, Duke versus number 12, Oral Roberts. Versus number 5, Duke.
Kind of ironic that Duke and Oral, it's really a shame that they're both in the same game, honestly. Because those are two teams that should never come close to each other.
Agreed.
I mean,
I would say
for obvious reasons, for name alone. Now, Coach K, no longer at Duke. They're no longer a legacy. I mean, they're a legacy, but they're no longer a guaranteed.
Sure.
So Oral Roberts has got Jesus on their side. They are a religious university, aren't they?
Sure.
Wasn't Oral Roberts a preacher?
I don't know.
I thought he was. Okay, I'll take Duke. After all that.
Yeah. Well, quite a setup to pick the best team.
Are they the best team?
No. I mean, they're better than.
Oh, I didn't know the Oral Roberts was a Golden Eagles. That's going to change everything. Yeah, they're in Tulsa, Oklahoma, too.
Can we move on?
I'm sorry, go ahead. I like Oklahoma, though. I've never been there.
You're picking Duke.
Okay, I'll take Duke.
Duke makes mayo. And mayo's good.
Dukes, you're right, yeah. So you put Dukes on your sandwich? Anyway.
Okay. Tennessee versus Louisiana.
Tennessee.
Okay.
A lot of double letters. You always pick love. And they have the Smoky Mountains. What could be better?
Green glass door.
Yes. True.
Double letters.
I'll be bringing.
There's got to be
jelly beans.
Jelly beans. Okay.
Don't. I already know. I've never had jam beans. A joke for a future podcast once we feel out our audience. That was a joke you couldn't tell to somebody. You could not tell the joke. Okay, go ahead.
Kentucky versus Providence.
As in Rhode Island?
I would think
too small. They don't have enough people to draw.
Okay.
Kentucky.
And then we'll go Kansas State versus Montana State. 2 states.
Montana, Big Sky Country.
Hey.
Big Sky Country.
I went there on vacation.
I know. June. I would like you to share some of that story too.
I'm not going to.
Okay. We'll move on.
It was beautiful. Probably
the Thousand Lakes.
Many Glacier.
That's what I meant.
Many Glacier. Listen, I've been not to a lot of places, but some pretty places in my life.
All joking aside.
Yes.
That you
like Hawaii and
that you were fair to say you were moved.
Yeah, but I mean, wait.
No, I mean emotionally moved. Like
in Montana?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That was
like as in the glory of everything. Yeah.
I would love to go back.
Yeah. I think that would be fun. You go.
That was back.
Back. Okay. Got it.
So we're going Montana State there.
Sure.
Michigan State versus USC.
USC.
Okay.
Yeah. Take USC.
Okay. And then we got Marquette versus Vermont in the last part of that bracket.
Marquette.
Okay.
You know why?
Nope.
Okay.
Are you going to?
Why? You acted like you didn't want to know.
No, so. You asked me if I knew something, and
I
said no.
You were like, no. And then you looked down like you weren't interested. It was like, no. It was, no. Like you were done with me. So I don't think it's important now.
Go ahead and tell us what you want to tell us.
Well, I would say it's just because Vermont, we went camping there once.
Great.
And hopefully nobody in Vermont will watch this podcast, but I didn't find the people really all that friendly.
Really?
Yeah, New Hampshire and Maine, I found the people super friendly.
Agreed. They were very friendly.
In Vermont, I felt like they were a little more standoffish.
I've never been to Vermont or New Hampshire, but they were definitely friendly in Maine.
Oh, New Hampshire. Whew, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. You should go there.
Number 1, Houston versus Northern Kentucky.
Houston versus Northern Kentucky. I'm
Harlan County.
going to make a small camera adjustment. Harlan
County. Tell me what that's from.
That is from Justified with
Okay.
Timothy Oliphant. Not to be confused with Timothy Elephant. Yeah. And I didn't even listen to the first one. Houston.
You never listen to me.
Well, no, it was because I was adjusting the camera. I was feeling. I really can't. I'll take Houston.
Okay. I think we're just going to do the first round.
Okay, that's fair. How long before they get to the second round? In real games.
I can look on here.
Well, I was just wondering.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
March 18th and 19th.
Okay, so we got a little time. Okay.
Iowa versus Auburn.
Iowa
in
versus
the 8-9 matchup.
I got to go with Auburn because I have a friend who lives in Alabama and he's an Auburn fan. So.
Tigers.
Well, his name is Tiger on our game system. He goes by the nickname of Tiger. His real name's Chuck, but
really likes Auburn.
He does like Auburn. Yeah.
Then we got Miami and Drake, not the rapper, but the
I was gonna say if he's gonna play all by himself,
it's gonna be tough.
I'll go with Miami because I feel like they're the Hurricanes.
They are,
and they have green and like orange and white.
They do.
So those are good colors.
Okay.
And Hurricane. I mean, look, when the other team shoots the ball and that wind hits it,
it's tough to make
there's
shots.
no way they're going to be able to make a jump shot.
Tough to make
they
shots.
might make a layup if it's a category 1, but if those, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
All right. Well, then I don't need to go on.
All right.
All right then.
Indiana versus Kent State.
Kent State. I'll take Indiana. No, that's the professional team. Indiana, the Hoosiers.
They are.
Okay. Yeah, you got it.
Who?
Did they do that?
No.
Okay.
I just did it with you so you didn't look weird.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Didn't work.
Nope. Still
Okay.
look weird. Iowa State versus Mississippi State.
I love Mississippi. Double letters.
Oh.
M stovepipe, crooked letter, stovepipe, crooked letter, stovepipe, humpback, stovepipe.
Okay, so
I's are stovepipes. S's are crooked letter.
Yeah.
You did M-I.
Crooked letter I. Crooked letter,
Okay.
crooked letter I, humpback,
So
humpback I.
I did stovepipe for I. That's all. All right, I'm ready. No,
Xavier versus Kennesaw State.
You got to go for Xavier because it starts with X.
You do like the X's.
Well, it's because it's unique.
It is.
You gotta be unique. You gotta be.
I knew a girl named I'm Unique.
Unique.
I'm unique.
I'm unique.
Yeah.
White girl. And it begins.
Why would you do that?
I'm sorry. Am I going to have to edit that out?
No.
Okay. All right.
Texas A&M versus Penn State.
Texas A&M versus Penn State.
The Aggies.
I cannot forgive Penn State. I got to go with the Aggies.
Okay.
I can't forgive them.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the whole Joe Pa thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I don't know much about sports, but I can't root for somebody that's.
I think that's all you need to say.
Okay.
Texas versus Colgate.
Colgate.
Toothpaste.
You got to.
Okay.
You know why? Because when they win, their smiles are
pristine.
They're going to be like,
yeah,
it's going to be amazing.
When you said that and I said toothpaste, that's the vision. That's what I heard in my head.
Yeah, it was like the commercial with the little star.
I heard that.
Yeah,
in my head.
All right.
Kansas versus Howard. Howard's first time in the NCAA tournament in a long time.
You know, I know somebody whose husband got his PhD at Howard.
Do you?
Yes. Yeah.
This is down at the bottom. This is 1 versus 16 in the bracket, by the way. Kansas the 1 seed.
Yeah, I think you got to go with Kansas.
Okay.
Well, wait, Howard's a 16 seed?
Yeah.
That surprises me. I figured, aren't they usually good? They're not usually good? I didn't know that. Why not? Georgetown's good.
They're not.
Basketball?
Yeah, they're not.
Well, when I was young, they were.
They were.
That was the John Thompson age.
Yeah, not anymore.
Patrick Ewing.
Well, he was the coach, and now he's fired.
Well, no, he was a player when I watched.
I understand that. He was a coach just now. He was not good.
He wasn't good as a coach.
Well, just the team in general.
Oh, recruiting?
Probably had something to do with it, and I don't know if people like playing for him. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
They would just have been bad.
You know anybody that knows Patrick Ewing?
No.
Okay.
Arkansas versus Illinois.
I feel like Illinois. Okay. Double letters in the silent S.
You love that. It's the double letters.
But here's the thing with Illinois. It's also the birthplace of Lincoln.
That's not. You just.
No, it's relevant. Here's why. It's a little ways around to get to it, but follow me here.
Yeah,
Lincoln was
on
in
the trail
Ford's
with you.
theater
Okay.
when he got, you know, okay. Ford was mostly manufactured in Detroit.
Okay.
Okay, Detroit, Michigan.
I
Detroit,
know
Michigan was Motor City.
Motor City.
Motor City,
Mhm.
besides being Rock City, was also Motown. That's where the record label Motown
Mhm.
comes from,
Right.
who have some of the best music ever recorded from Motown.
You'll get no
So
argument
that's
with me.
why I have to go Illinois, because of Detroit and Motown.
Thanks for walking me through that.
You're welcome. I told you I'd get there.
Yeah, great. St. Mary's versus VCU.
St. Mary's small school, but so is VCU.
Yeah.
VCU. One of the podcasts I listen to, the guy went to VCU and he roots for VCU and he plays the fight song. And because of that, I'm rooting for St. Mary's.
Okay.
Because he plays it every single
That's
year.
gotta be annoying.
It is. And he go Rams go. They're the Rams. And I was a Ram at Shepherd. So my Shepherd Rams,
Whooping them.
not even a question.
No problem. Yukon versus Iona.
Yukon.
Yukon.
Iona is a female's name. It's not a team.
That is a female's name?
I feel like if it was a name, it would be a female's name.
What's wrong with being a female?
Nothing's wrong with being a female, but if you're going to play basketball, you can't just be one female. You need a whole team. And it sounds like here's the other reason I can't pick Iona. It sounds like they're bragging.
I'm not going to ask you.
Well, like I own a car, I own a house.
It was just a bad joke.
No. Oh, so you were trying to let it die? No, you know I'm not going to let it die.
Your dad joke. TCU versus Arizona State.
Arizona, long shot. Even though they have state, again, the weather, the mountains.
I know you love the weather there.
Well, I haven't been there, but to be fair.
What you've seen, you love.
Yeah.
Gonzaga.
I've seen you.
Gonzaga versus Grand Canyon.
Okay, so the Grand Canyon is large.
It is, yes.
But here's the thing. Large can sometimes be unmanageable.
That's true.
And it's still eroding. You got the Snake River.
As we speak.
And the Grand Canyon is getting grander.
As we speak.
But Gonzaga has been, I know that name because I know they have surprised a lot of people. Sure. So I'm going to go with Gonzaga.
Okay.
They're local too, aren't they? Are they closer to us or are they from West Coast?
I don't
know. Okay.
Northwestern versus Boise State.
I think you do know. Boise State, because I love French fries. Idaho is known for their potatoes.
I got it.
Okay. As a matter of fact, you know when you go to Five Guys, they tell you where their potatoes are from.
Right.
Most times, Idaho.
They are the potatoes.
Got to root for Boise. Okay.
Last one.
Okay.
UCLA.
I bet the audience is happy. If they're still listening.
UCLA versus UNC Asheville.
Okay, so Asheville, beautiful. I've looked even at property there.
Ooh.
Very expensive though. But it's in the mountains. And I've heard it's beautiful and they have great music there. Mm-hmm. So UCLA.
Perfect.
Because I can't afford to live in Asheville.
Okay. We got the first round done.
That's good.
That's pretty good.
I think that is good.
I think that's wonderful.
And we're looking at the 47 mark, so we should probably
the first podcast is going to be a little longer just because we had to do introductions and whatnot.
And we were I was worried about it not being long enough, but I was worried about us running out of things, but now I realize we don't. There's no chance. So here's the last thing we had planned. Well, we have two things. Our segment 4 was supposed to be the draft segment. Right. We were going to pick 5 states where we would like to vacation in and why. So I think we can knock this out pretty quick.
Each draft one.
Correct.
Figure out who would draft first and then each draft one and then hopefully the audience comment on whose draft was better.
Yeah, that would be great.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we'd read both comments.
All 2 of them.
Live on the air.
Sure.
Next time.
It would take maybe 7 seconds.
Well, actually, we probably wouldn't read it next time.
No.
But we'll read it ourselves and then discuss it at some point in the future. So would you like to take, I don't know how we pick who does the first draft, but would you like to listen, I'm a guest here, so I think the home team, you should be the home team. You draft first.
Well, the away team needs to go first. We can I could spin the wheel.
Okay, go ahead.
Or I could
land it on you.
No. Odd number.
I like odd numbers.
and I'll be even number.
Okay.
Whatever Siri gives me is going to be whatever we take.
Okay.
Siri, pick a number. 53.
53. Was
You
I
got
odd?
I was even, so you pick first.
Oh, I thought that meant I get to decide who goes first.
Nope.
Okay.
Your first pick in the draft, the state draft, places you'd love to vacation if you had all the money and time in the world.
States.
States
To
only.
be fair.
States only.
States.
Any of the 53.
I would pick Hawaii as my number one draft.
Hawaii is first. Hawaii on my board.
Okay.
Was on my board. A little lower on my board.
Right.
Only because that flight is...
The flight's not good.
Not ideal for me.
And a guy of larger carriage, such as myself, the flight is...
But you've been.
I've been once. I was lucky enough to have a friend who moved there.
Okay.
And that was how, before we had kids,
yeah.
my wife and I went and spent some time there for no other reason than the clear water and scuba diving. I got it, my only chance in life to go scuba diving. To me, that was one of the greatest experiences of my life. Sans, all the normal disclosures,
Sure.
Not counting my wife and when I got married and my children, But aside from all that, scuba diving, not so much for the heat, not so much for the sun, the power of the sun, very hot. The clear of the water, the beautiful color of the fish, and scuba diving.
Okay.
The best.
Fair enough. I think my own, not knocking the pick. I love the pick. Love the pick.
This is like one of those things where you say, I mean, it's good, but...
Listen.
Okay.
I have been to Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Loved it. Honeymoon. Don't do that ever again.
I'm sorry.
I saw where they were going. For our honeymoon, we went to the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Ooh, never been there.
I think
you'd pick it.
I think you would pick it also because the water is very calm. There's not a lot of waves.
Okay.
You could just wade in the water.
Yeah, I met him.
Flight's only 5 hours, as opposed to 13. 14.
And no passport.
Well, you don't need a passport in Hawaii.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's a good point. I wish I hadn't said that.
I kind of wish I hadn't, but
you know what? That's one of the things my buddy told me they hate when you go down there and you're like, when I get back to the States, because it feels like you're in a different country because you've been on the plane for 10 years.
It does.
But
for my first pick, I'm going to go ahead and take Montana. I think that is just
okay. I'll be
the most
deleting that off my list.
It's a beautiful state that we have. Been to Glacier National Park, loved it, and love to go to Tetons and
where?
Tetons.
Oh, I think I misheard you.
Yeah, I thought so. For your second pick.
Yeah, I want, as you know, I want to go to Montana too, but you just drafted it.
I did draft that.
So I deleted it from my list since you beat me out on Montana.
Okay.
Montana. All right. Gosh, second pick. I'm gonna go with, because I think I'm safe to wait a little longer on one of my others. I'm gonna go with Alaska second. Gonna go with Alaska. See, I thought that would be high on your list.
That hurts. I'm not gonna lie, that was my next pick.
Yeah.
That hurts me.
Yeah. Because for me, for people listening, I love the out and away from things. Sure. Just not congestion, wildlife, nature, beauty. Montana, sure. Right. And so Alaska, just the untouched nature of so much stuff there, and also the beauty. Just the beauty of it. And to be honest, I love that show Deadliest Catch. I want to go see the Aleutian Islands. Okay. I want to go and see. I would love to spend long enough to probably get seasick on a big boat out on the Bering Sea and just see what it's like in real life, see those great big huge waves that they get. And I mean, I know it's not always like that, but it scares me too, but I think I would want to see it.
I would not be able to.
How about this? Would you take the Coast Guard helicopter?
That's worse.
Oh, okay. I would do either of those.
I bet you would.
Yeah. The helicopter, I've always thought it'd be fun. Okay.
Alaska, that's a great pick for me.
Okay.
I think that was.
So you're conceding the draft now, or?
I think you won. No, I think I'm going to go out to the west.
Okay.
Farther west as well. I'm going to take Oregon.
Okay.
I'd love to see the Oregon coast.
I've heard it's beautiful.
A lot of really cool pictures. I heard the weather's great.
A lot of pines, a lot of old growth trees.
I feel like that's good in general.
Yeah. People.
Maybe, which is fine.
Yeah.
They're nice normally. But I've seen a lot of videos and pictures on the Dig Dog, and
Yeah, our language segment. We
Yeah,
gotta.
we'll get to that.
Yeah.
That's TikTok for those of you that don't know.
Yeah.
But,
For those of you that don't dig dog.
I think that would be a great trip, and I would love to do that with my wife at some point.
Yeah, that'd be good. Would you like to do it with anybody else's wife?
No.
Okay. Good answer.
Mm-hmm.
In case she watches. All right. So pick 3 to me.
Pick number 3 for you.
I'm gonna go with Florida.
That's fine.
Yeah, I figured I could probably take that one low.
You could have got that
5th pick, 5th round.
pick.
So I wasted. I burned it.
You did.
Here's the only reason, and you probably already know why. My wife and I and my kids love Disney.
Sure.
And we're one of those suckers. And I know I'm a sucker. I buy into it. It's corporate salesmanship to the highest level. Okay. Disney, they put their talons in you and yank the flesh off of your bones. Okay. But you know what? I love them. Well, there goes our Disney sponsorship for the podcast.
Yeah, we can't get that now.
But big bucks. But I love Disney. They do it better than anybody else, in my opinion. And my parents started it because I started going when I was literally in utero.
Right.
And when I was little and went all the time. And it was the one place, without getting too sentimental, it was the one place where I saw my dad specifically relax and have fun. Okay. Because Dad, we didn't grow up with much money. Dad worked a bunch of jobs, the whole deal. We've talked about this before, but the people on the podcast don't know. And I just, when we went to Disney, Dad laughed. Mm-hmm. Dad had fun. Dad made me ride things that I was scared and laughed and just had fun. And like he was just fun there. And so Disney, and I love the ocean. Okay. And if I can't get to Hawaii, the Florida Ocean or the Gulf, even calmer. Yeah. Really nice. So
okay.
They can keep their fire ants though. I don't do that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of those. Yeah. I think for my 3rd pick, I am going to I want to take 2 here. Obviously I can't, but I'm going to pick one that I
Yeah, you know I want it. You're trying to steal it from me.
Well, I don't know which one to. I'm going to take another Midwest-ish state and take Colorado.
Okay. I'll be deleting that off my list then.
I think Colorado's a great pick, especially at 3. I think that's a great value at 3.
It's a good pick for sure. I First of all, you got the 14ers. You got all the 14,000 foot peaks.
Sorry, I'm just.
That's okay. You're
thinking the mountains and the Rocky National.
You want to get a running start?
For me to say, Rocky National Mountain Park.
Rocky Mountain.
There it is.
National Park.
There you have it.
The Rocky Mountain National Park.
No, it was.
Where was it?
Mount Rocky.
Do you want me to add this out?
there's a national park in Colorado that I want.
What's it called?
Rocky State Park National.
I think that's right.
Okay.
Let me Google that.
Yep.
Let me Google you right. That's something I've stolen from another podcast too. Google me right. That's okay.
So I'll take Colorado at 3.
Okay.
I think there's a lot.
That's strong. I'm going to take. I had Colorado, and I might have gone there next.
I really don't want you to take my 4th pick.
In my 4th?
Please don't. You're going to do it. I can tell.
I can go next door. I don't mean here. I mean, I can take the state next door.
Go ahead.
I'm going to be kind. No, I'm not. No, I'm going cutthroat. You would not go easy on me. I wouldn't. I'm going cutthroat. Okay. And I'm taking Maine.
Oh, you.
Coastline.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, sorry.
Gosh, you knew I was going to do it.
I thought you would go there. That's okay. That's all right.
Yes, and
people at home are thinking we had an earthquake.
It was between Maine and Colorado for my 3rd pick.
Right. Well, you knew I was going to take whichever one you did, probably, because we're too similar.
Maine is beautiful.
It is beautiful.
That coastline is beautiful.
Moose, lack of people density.
Moose plural.
Meese. Lack of people concentration. Sure. Unless you're on the coast, right. You can go and not see people. Yeah. Acadia, that's beautiful.
Bar Harbor.
Just the sheer nature, unspoiled.
So that's a great pick. That ruins my 4th pick.
And the northern terminus of the Appalachian Trail.
It is.
At Mount Katahdin.
And first place in the U.S. that gets sunlight.
Yeah, Cadillac Mountain.
I don't know what to do here at 4 now.
Okay.
You've thrown me off with Maine. If I had,
Well, I'm going to sit back and watch you squirm.
Hey, Montana, Oregon, Colorado, and Maine would have been strong. Would have been very strong.
It would have been.
Uh,
What pick are we on? Is this your fourth pick? Okay. Fourth. Okay.
I think I'm going to take, just for value at 4, I'm going to go California.
Lots there.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, from
the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream.
Seriously, I think from Northern California with the redwoods, you can get what you want there, and then you can go all the way down to San Diego and get that kind of weather and the beaches in between.
Yeah.
There's LA in the middle if you're looking for a lot to do.
And Anaheim.
Sure.
Well, it's Disneyland. It's the only park Walt actually walked in.
Disney thing.
I'm sorry. Can't help it.
I think California at 4 is strong.
Yeah, I think you get a lot for your big bang for your buck.
5.
Okay, so
Last
5.
Pick.
Here's the thing. All 5 of mine that I picked are now gone. So I'm going to have to wing pick 5.
I feel good about this thing because I have 2 more picks that I can make. And
you have good arguments for them?
Oh, I'm winning this. You know I'm a winner, dude.
That's all the time we have for this? Okay. Let's see. I got to come up with something on this. You know what? I'll take.
Don't do that. You're not going to.
Vacation.
Sure.
Louisiana.
Okay.
Food. I always want to try more Creole and Cajun cooking.
Okay.
I'm a jazz guy. I'm a sax player. I gotta go. I've never been to New Orleans. I want to go. I want to go to Nolens. I want to see and hear the debauchery. I want to hear the music. I don't want to go during Mardi Gras. I don't want to go during Mardi Gras because I'm not into the drinking and craziness. But I want to go and hear and see the historical music things. I want to walk Bourbon Street. I just want to see and experience the culture. I love the South in general, just because I feel like the people there it's still the old Southern manners. You get a lot more. And the food, the cooking, the comfort food in the South is absolutely. And though I'm not a crazy seafood lover, I feel like the gumbos and the stews and the stuff that they do in New Orleans, that Cajun cooking, the spices, I love in Cajun food.
I mean, every place that you picked, the seafood is going to be immaculate.
That's
Hawaii,
true.
Alaska, Florida, Maine, and Louisiana.
Well, the Alaska, that's true.
You're getting seafood.
Maine lobster, the Alaska king crabs.
Seafood from all the places.
That's
good.
Great. That is good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that would be good.
So,
wouldn't it?
If you like seafood, you go dirt draft.
Yeah.
I had 2 picks here, 3 picks really that I'm trying to decide.
You just want to go everywhere?
I do.
Yeah.
I'd love that. But I think I've narrowed it down betwixt 2. And I think I'm leaning. I know I've taken Midwest already, but I think I'm going to go with Utah over Arizona.
The Salt Flats?
I think I'm gonna lock in Utah.
Okay.
It was between Utah. I'll tell you, between Utah, Arizona, and Wyoming.
I considered Wyoming strongly.
Yes, and I think
in place of Colorado.
I think between Zion National Park and Park City, and so I would love to go to Salt Lake City.
Park City was the Winter Olympics?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yep. It seems beautiful, just like Colorado does to me.
Mm-hmm. So you have Colorado and Utah?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
So you're king of the mountains.
I am king of the mountains.
I almost went South Dakota. Well, I can't talk about what I almost did, but go ahead.
Anyway, so Hawaii for you.
Okay.
Hawaii, Alaska, Florida, Maine, and Louisiana.
I'm kind of all around the country
strong.
too.
You are.
Okay.
That's strong.
All right. And for you?
Seafood. I went Montana, Big Sky, Oregon, California. So went to the West Coast.
Yeah.
And then Colorado and Utah. Nothing on the East Coast. Thought about going to New York, just because upstate New York is beautiful.
And the city is a neat thing if you've never been.
You get both there, but
the city is phenomenal to visit.
Sure.
If we were picking states to live in, I would never pick it. But
yeah, to visit and to vacation,
I think
New York gives you a lot. But I stick Midwest and West.
I think that's fair.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll see what the audience says.
We'll
pick both votes. Hopefully it'll at least be
I'll-
3 people, so it won't be a tie.
I'll make my wife do it. if
Okay,
she won't.
that'll be good. Well, for our last thing today, we thought we'd end with what we call news miscues.
Yeah.
And these are going to be a little something out of the ordinary for
Sure.
stories. Sometimes I might have to dance a little bit around the subject matter, but we can just bloviate and discuss what it was a bloviate
Yeah.
and discuss what possibly could go on in these stories. So this one is, I'll just read you the caption first. This is woman arrested for domestic avocado attack. So right off the bat.
Curious to hear where this goes.
Boyfriend 68 injured when struck in the eye by thrown fruit. This is not funny, Will. This is spousal abuse. Actually, domestic violence, which is not a funny topic.
I want to say something to you.
Go ahead.
I don't want you to think I'm dumb. But
Okay.
Not that
You didn't know that avocado was a fruit?
I didn't know.
Okay.
Just never
You
thought
don't think
about
of it. Yeah, I wouldn't either. I wouldn't either.
Never thought about
Definitely
it.
not a vegetable, though.
No, but just
Right.
I don't even think about it as a fruit.
No, I don't either.
Obviously, they're giant seeds.
This happened recently, March 14th, so not that long ago.
Okay.
Okay. 39-year-old Florida woman. And I think in a lot of stories you're going to notice this trend.
I would
Because-
guess.
But actually, because Florida is one of the states that does not protect documents about arrests and things, so that's why you get a lot of funny stories. 39-year-old Florida woman is facing a felony battery charge for allegedly, you have to put that in there,
Right.
allegedly striking her 68-year-old boyfriend. 39,
Caught that.
68.
Yeah, picked up on that.
In the eye with a thrown avocado, according to court records. Police say that Carlene Biswanger,
Mhm.
that's BISWA.
I don't want you to read the
Okay.
rest of
Carlene Biswanger and the victim have been living together in a St. Petersburg apartment for about a year and, quote, have been engaging in consensual relations.
that. Sure.
During a confrontation on Sunday evening, police allege Biswanger threw an avocado at the victim's face, causing injury to his right eye.
That's tough. You hate to hear that.
Makes you wonder, like, what is she doing that the avocado is the closest thing to throw? Was
also-
she preparing a meal?
For you to hurl a avocado at somebody's dome.
Avocado? Is that what
Yeah,
they're...
That's what I call them.
Okay.
And to strike it with such force to cause injury.
And why was he not able to throw up a hand or something? I mean,
She
maybe
must have an absolute cannon for an arm.
she should be recruited by the Marlins.
Somebody.
Somebody should get that lady out on the
They need to
field.
get her on a minor league deal.
Well, she apparently struck him in the eye, causing injury. Pictured at right, and I know the audience can't see her picture, but they can Google this story. Biswanger also allegedly threw a hanging rod that struck the man in the arm.
Oh, that's tough.
Is a hanging rod like a curtain rod? Is that what we're...
I would assume.
Okay, I wasn't sure, but that makes sense.
Also, was you throwing like a javelin? Like, how do you throw a hanging rod? I would assume you throw it like a javelin.
Maybe,
right?
but if you're enraged enough to throw an avocado, maybe it's a two-handed.
Hawk. That seems like a hawk move.
It could be.
Jeez.
She's 39, so I mean she's a fully grown lady. A portion of this incident was witnessed by a neighbor, a St. Petersburg cop noted. The alleged battery
Easy for you to say.
occurred at an apartment complex for residents age 62 and older. You know what? That's going to get her a charge of abuse of the elderly, I
Agreed.
bet. She's
Agreed.
going to get another charge. Let's
Agreed.
see what it says. After being read her rights, Biswanger denied, quote, directly striking the victim. So she didn't directly strike,
No,
which
she
is
just
true.
Hurled objects. at
Which is
him,
true. She struck him,
but
not directly. Biswanger has a rap sheet, apparently. You might be surprised to learn.
So she just spits out raps randomly.
Yeah, she's very good at freestyling, specifically in the style of Cole Porter,
So not close.
Cole Medina.
Coal miner's daughter.
Okay,
Okay.
very nice. You went on Coal Miner's Daughter. Very nice. I mean, I could go with Cole's Law, but I won't. Coal Miner's Daughter wins. Yeah. Biswanger's rap sheet includes multiple convictions for illegal possession of Xanax, as well as convictions for theft, DUI, obstructing police, probation violation, and driving without a license.
So she's
Yeah, she doesn't make good choices.
no. Doesn't seem
not
that
very
way.
good. I'm surprised there wasn't a charge for elder abuse, honestly.
She threw
An avocado.
and hurt his eye.
Also, I want to know why. Like, what was the argument about? But there's no information about that in the
That
story.
is a strange story.
So there you go, from Florida,
Lord.
Miss Biswanger. Hopefully things work
Florida,
out for her.
That's a place that Dirk chose to go. So
I wanted to meet her.
if you wanted to meet Miss Biswanger,
Yeah.
then that's where you're headed.
Hopefully things work out for her. I mean, we wish her well.
Sure.
And we hope that Mr. 68-year-old boyfriend, whose name's not mentioned,
Definitely hope
we hope he heals.
We do.
We will update our audience.
I hope he is okay.
And I'm the other I who hopes he wins a settlement. All right. Well, I think that's it for the first one. What do you think? Should we end it?
I think
I didn't put a catchphrase, so we'll just say goodbye for now. Ta-ta.
For now.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.